Today's topic is
the ins and outs of commission painting.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Waypan. I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
So today we're talking about commission painting.
We'll cover the skill stack, communication, and Glass Planet, as well as why all of these are important.
Plus some practical tips using references, color matching, and subassembly.
As well as the most important and perhaps controversial, pricing.
The first question people always ask is simple. Am I good enough to be a commission painter?
But that's really two questions. One, are you skilled enough to get paid? And two, can you actually make a living at it?
No, it will take time to build your reputation. You will need a client base. You will need time to build a reputation, and reputation matters more than anything else.
For the first, are you skilled enough? Probably. Your painting ability isn't the only skill you need to be a commission painter. And this is where the idea of skill stacks comes in, a concept from Scott Adams. It's about how skills combine.
Imagine it like this. You can only have 100 points in any one skill, but for each job they have skill requirements. Think of it like this. Imagine 100 points total. Painting is only about 40, then 30 goes to communication, 20 to reputation, and 10 for your network. That's your full skill stack.
So you may be overqualified for this job. Your totals may go far beyond what is needed. You have skill stacks that combines those things.
Painting ability.
Interpersonal communication.
Social networking skills.
And this isn't just painting. It's true in any job. Everyone knows someone who's brilliant at the craft but impossible to work with. Skill alone isn't enough.
It's like that old ditty about hiring a receptionist. A friendly beginner can be trained. A nasty expert will drive everyone away. That's why skill stacks matter more than raw talent. Don't get me wrong, you need to be able to paint.
From that skill stack, about 60% is communication. That's the real key to getting clients.
Exactly. Interpersonal communication is extremely important. What do they expect? What can you deliver? You've got to meet the clients on their level.
And every client is different. Some want face-to-face chats, others find that uncomfortable.
Take your ego out of it. Commission painting isn't about you. You are a servant. It is a service. You're making it for them, not for yourself.
You can enjoy the process, but always remember you're serving the client.
For me, that usually means using Messenger or Discord, somewhere where I can send process pictures and keep them updated, something they are comfortable with.
It also depends on the job. If it's a big tabletop batch, do a test model first, send it over, get approval, then keep going.
If it's a character or showcase piece, I'll send updates in parts, but some clients want few updates. They just want to know it's being worked on.
So you've got to figure that out early. Too many updates annoy some clients, not enough make others nervous. Adapt to what they want. Unfortunately, this will be a vibe check. Some people fail.
Yes, there was a client that I have that only sent messages like, looks great, well done, and messages of this kind, and I got really worried. In person, they were a bit cold, but after the second meeting, they raved about how much they loved my paint jobs. And I have gotten a lot of work from them since.
So check in with your Mrs. or Mr. so you don't get lost in your own thoughts or whatever helps quiet your doubts.
Speaking of doubts, how do you make your client's dream a reality?
The Glass Planet. This comes from Max Landis. The Glass Planet is the perfect version of something in your client's head. Shiny, flawless, but untouchable. The second you try to make it real, it shatters.
And you can't compete with perfection. So you have to break it. How? Start asking questions.
Talk about color schemes, how bright or dark they want it, which details matter.
The moment they explain it, the Glass Planet cracks into something real.
And reality is where you can actually deliver. They give you pieces of their dream and you shape those into something achievable.
Always under-promise and over-deliver.
And you will be a painter they come back to time and again.
Alright, so explain this subassembly thing to me. Why not just glue everything together and paint it all at once?
Because sometimes the parts get in each other's way. Take Logan here as an example. The cape and shoulder pads, if you glue the whole arm on first, the brush won't reach behind it cleanly. Keeping those parts separate makes painting easier.
So should we always subassemble?
Not always. Look at the wolves for example. Their bodies are open, no big layers blocking the brush. Those can be built fully and painted as one piece. And separating an organic creature can have its own problems.
What about bases?
Bases can usually be assembled completely. Paint the whole thing, then slot the finished model on top. Nice and simple.
Okay, just to summarize, we sub-assemble when it's character level or above.
Correct, only if we can't get to everything naturally.
And we want to keep everything together when we can, or get everything together when it's organic, because separating the pieces may cause a jarring paint job.
Spot on.
Alright, let's talk about color matching and matching the box.
Never just copy the box. The photos are edited and often don't match the paints exactly. If the model is on the Warhammer site, always check the 360 turnaround instead. That shows you the actual paint job from every angle.
Alright, so let's say we're looking at this wolf. What do you see first?
Start broad. Dark on top, lighter underneath. That's your value range. Here I'd lean on contrast paints, dry brushing, and maybe blending to get that natural fade.
So I usually zenithal prime the models, so it's primed, but you can still see things, and it's a good base to work off, but not always.
Yes, here we need the underside to be lighter, so I started by glazing over the Xandri dust to keep the shading, but avoiding that ashy look once the contrasts go down.
And the underbelly?
Brighten it with an off-white. For the top fur, you can see more of a red-brown, so I'll test Dark Oath flesh and Gore Grunter fur. For the darkest parts, just mix Black Legion or Black Templar contrast with your brown.
But the box looks pretty muted overall though. Yours came out a lot brighter.
You're right, it did. But rather than wasting my time, I sent a picture to the client and they liked the more saturated coloring, so we went with that.
See, in a vacuum, this could have been a waste of time with this higher saturation wolf. But remember, you are but a servant. Your opinion isn't the most important, it's the client's.
Help them visualize that dream with pictures. They are how you keep the client in the loop. They prove progress, they build trust, and they give the client a chance to give feedback before it's too late to change anything.
So what do you need to take a good picture?
Just grab a big box, add some lights, and diffuse those lights with baking paper or a cloth so the lights aren't as harsh.
And for the background, just use a piece of cardboard paper. Curve it with blue tack and you've got a clean backdrop. Then stabilize your camera and you're good to go. But is this enough for a commission for a client?
Yes, because it shows the paint job clearly. Clients can see the details, colors, and progress. If they want adjustments, you catch it early. If they love it, you know you're on track.
Pictures aren't just proof of your work. They're part of your communication stack.
Exactly. Good photos make you look professional, save you from headaches, and reassure the client they're in safe hands.
Alright, let's talk about the part that everyone argues over, pricing. It is my philosophy that your absolute minimum for your price should be the price of the box or the blister the miniature came in. If a client won't pay that, they're not serious.
So it's about filtering out the looky-loos?
Exactly. If they already paid Games Workshop more for the plastic than they're willing to pay you for hours of skilled labor, that's a red flag.
But what if someone thinks your price is too high?
That's fine. I've been there myself. I've spent tens of thousands commissioning art for my game. And sometimes I met artists who were simply outside of my budget. When I asked their price and it was outside of my budget, I didn't ask them to lower their price. I wished them success, genuine success, and apologized and just said it's outside of my budget.
So it's not just about the market, it's about self-value too.
If you concede and work for less, you will start to feel worth less.
So if people keep paying you and one person complains, the logic is simple. The paying clients are right, not the outlier.
Exactly. You are worth what you're paid for. And if you didn't ask for it, you'll never get it. And there's one thing we always ask the watchers to do.
I think I know.
Keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.
So is it worth it?
Well, I think that that's kind of 2.5 questions. The first one is it going to be temporary or a side hustle? Then yeah, I think it's totally worth it. Especially if you're like me, where you just love painting. You don't mind what you're painting. It doesn't matter even whether it's the same faction or even the same system.
So long as it comes in a miniature format, you'll paint
Yeah,
it.
like I paint Bushido, I paint Warhammer, I paint
Star
Lord of the Rings.
Wars.
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
these things, and I love painting. But as your primary source of income, I don't think I can recommend it. Now, maybe that is tainted by my view of how I fell into this. So a family member was very, very sick, and I had to be able to drop everything at a moment's notice to be able to help them or to take them to chemo sessions and stuff like that.
So it's great if you want something to be flexible, but it's not high income work. It could be unless you had such a high volume of work that you are working all the time to the point that you are able to turn down some commissions.
Which would kind of defeat the purpose of that flexibility,
Yeah.
which we talked about before. So me and Sunny have talked about this all the time, but there's no such thing as solutions, only trade-offs. You can have a high income job, but if you do,
Expect to be missing a lot of firsts with your family, you know,
Yeah.
having less time to spend with your kids if you have kids. But if you want to work from home,
and you want to have those benefits, you've kind of got to make a decision. Are you going to be working all the time? Because if that's the case, then
it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I wanted to keep with this is because Sunny and I were separated due to travel restrictions, and I never wanted to be separated from her ever again.
Me neither. Like, we both didn't want to be separated ever again. We
Yeah,
didn't
it
want to be
was
put in
quite
that
painful.
situation ever again. So we just did this. Plus, like, I love painting. I have a background in art. Like, this was perfect.
Yeah.
Basically.
All except that minor part about pay.
That's true.
All right, so guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you have enjoyed our honesty, and we hope that you found this helpful. If you have, please check out one of our other videos.